Hello and welcome to Abridge Golf Course Update number 4. This one we'll be talking about what we've been doing on the golf course, what we're going to do the next few weeks, and Craig's going to take you through a few rules and how to use a stimp meter and what it does. Craig, over to you on the putting green.
Well, thanks Jeff. I thought I'd show you exactly what a stimp meter is and how it works. Well, this is it. It's nothing more than an angled piece of metal about 2.5 foot long with a hole in it. So if we walk over here and I'll explain to you how it actually works and what it does. So what you actually need is you need your stimp meter, tape measure, 3 golf balls and some tees. You find a level piece of green and you just simply put the tee in the ground like that, and you put the end of the stimp meter at the tee. There's a little hole in the stimp meter, you put the ball in like that and you just slowly rise the stimp meter until it rolls off, and then when it finishes wherever it goes it just stays there. You do the 3 balls exactly the same, and then wherever the 3 balls go you find the average of the 3 balls, which is probably the middle one here. You just put your T-peg in like that, and then with the tape measure you just measure between the 2 tees. There's no real great science in this because he's been doing it for years. So we've got 12.5 feet that way. Then you simply come back to the first tee and go the other way. Put it down here like that. You put it in. You roll them off. And they go back that way. Like that. Simply tape off again the middle one from the way back. Which in easy money is 8 feet. You've got 8 feet and 12 feet the other way. You divide that by 2, you get 10 feet. And then to get an average you have to do this on 6 greens, and then you average the 6 greens together, and that's the speed of your golf course for the day. So that explains how a stimp meter works. Okay, we're standing on the side of the 8th fairway and we decided we're going to do rules because it seems to be very popular with the last video we done. So we're going to do rabbit scratchings this week. So we've got 2 balls here, as you can see. So the question is, do I get relief from one of them, both of them, or none of them? We're going to give you the answer after you've been to see Jeff on the 4th green and he's going to tell you what they're doing with the drain.
Those of you that played us in the winter will know that we suffered very badly with some real wet greens, particularly the 4th green. So obviously we want to try and alleviate that. So first thing we did on Monday was to strip the turf off with a turf cutter. We numbered all the turf to make sure that all the turf went back in exactly the same spot as they were originally lifted. Here you can see after we'd stripped off several rows of turf off the green, and where the tractor's again gone in and trenched out a trench approximately 14 inches deep. We basically put the trenches 1.5 meters apart from each other across the green. Then you can now see us putting the pipe in. This pipe is 25mm in diameter and is perforated. So once the water drops down into the pipe, it runs down the pipe, and then these pipes are connected to the main drain. Once the pipes have all been laid in the trenches and connected to the main drain, we then backfilled the trenches with a material called Lytag. Here you can see it going into a hopper, and as the hopper goes along it will fill the channel up. Lytag is a porous material but actually holds water better than sand. It doesn't drain out quite so quick, so this stops it drying out too quickly. And it's actually made from the material and debris left inside the big chimneys you see in the big manufacturing plants. It's not cheap, but it really does do a great job. Here you can see, as I say, coming out the hopper, filling it up to the level of the trench. The idea is that once the water permeates through the turf, it then finds its quickest route out, which obviously will be the Lytag, because it will drain through that quicker than the soil and then down into the pipe. Once the trench is full, we then whack the Lytag down to try and stop any sinkage. The next thing we did was to backfill them with top dressing and then knit the turf back to the best that we could possibly do. Here you can see Rich and Nick whacking the top dressing down and carefully pushing the turfs back in the order that they were taken out. Once the turfs are all put back, we then went over it with a whacker plate, just trying to vibrate it down and make it as flat as possible. This will obviously take time to settle afterwards and will involve us top dressing the green a few times and lifting or possibly lowering any turfs that are high or too low. And thank you for your patience with this. Hopefully you'll all agree, you know, it's a job worth doing.
Rule 25, which is abnormal ground conditions, and the answer is you don't get a relief from that ball, but you do get a relief from that ball. I'll explain why. The reason you don't get a relief from this ball is because it's lodged up under the tree. So irrespective if there was any rabbit scratchings or nothing at all, that ball is unplayable. So this is secondary to the decision, and that's why that ball would have to be moved under a one-shot penalty. However, this ball you get free relief from, because if I actually try and hit that ball, my foot actually stands within that rabbit scratching, and therefore I will get relief under Rule 25 from that scratching, which is nearest point of relief, and then it's one club away, and then play the ball. So on conclusion, you only get relief when you're standing in something and you could actually play the ball, but the abnormal ground conditions is stopping you, whereas this ball is totally unplayable, and it wouldn't really matter if we had elephants droppings here, you still wouldn't get relief. So I hope that explains it.
Hi and welcome to this edition's Pros Tip. Today I'm going to talk about the greenside splash shot. There's two common faults that I find when I coach people. First one that I've come across is that most people, to get the ball out of the bunker, they tend to dig down because they're trying to get the ball up into the air. Okay. The second shot that they try and do is they have their whole body weight sat back onto their right side because they're trying to get the ball up into the air over the lip and out the bunker, and the shot and the swing that they put on the ball is they try and flick and help the ball up into the air. Now what this causes is most times people to either catch too much behind the ball where they've flicked their hands to try and help the ball up into the air, or it causes them to thin the ball and shoot the ball over to the green. So both of these ways are incorrect. I'm now going to explain to you with Nick Cork, my fellow PGA professional, exactly how I would like to see you play a bunker shot. Okay, first things that I like to look for is giving yourself a good solid base. You must make sure that you get your feet dug into the ground. Now as you can see, Nick's feet are dug into the sand. What this does, this lowers you into the sand so that during your follow through you're low enough so that the club can already come to the bottom of the ball. If you don't lower yourself into the sand, you face the risk of thinning the ball because you're too high. Ball position, I like to see the ball position just slightly left of centre. Now everything that I'm going to be explaining is for the right-handed golfer, okay? So ball position is just slightly left of centre. Now I like to see the body weight distribution about 55% onto your left side. This is going to help Nick get a more descending blow on the ball because you've got to get the club striking the bottom of the ball, okay? You've got to make sure now that during the swing you get a nice relaxed backswing. You don't want to be too tense and tight, so you're very nice and relaxed so that on the way through you can get a very committed follow through. So if you see now, and you'll see once Nick hits the shot, his hands and arms are finished in front of his body, the club is travelling down towards his intended landing area, and his body weight is now going forward and towards his target. What he has not done is fell backwards because he's not trying to lift the ball up into the air. As you can see, that would then have created the scoop. So his body weight is going towards the target. Again, he's taken all of the negativity out of the shot, and he's going to now hit a shot for you and show you exactly how to play it.